after this break.
Service at the lowest price ever.
3G AfriCell brings you the most affordable 3G internet bundles ever.
Get your AfriCell Extreme 3G internet service for as low as $15 is only.
AfriCell 3G bundles starting from 50 megabytes up to 12 gigabytes.
12 gigabytes bundle for a tariff as low as 5 buttons per megabyte.
And all bundles are valid for 30 days.
AfriCell Extreme 3G service for as low as $15.
To subscribe, please dial 120 and choose from the available 3G bundles.
For more info, call 113.
AfriCell Extreme 3G service.
For as low as 5 buttons per megabyte, stay connected to AfriCell's 3G network.
AfriCell.
When we say Extreme 3G,
it is truly extreme.
Welcome back. Scores of young people gathered in the Senegalese capital Dakar to protest against the detention of a powerful religious leader. Followers of Serigne Béthio Thioune smashed car screens across Dakar, which scared residents, as we hear in this CFI report. The renowned religious leader was detained 6 months ago for the death of 2 of his disciples.
Devout Muslim youths sowed panic in Dakar on Monday as they smashed up dozens of cars in protest against the detention of a powerful religious leader. Followers of Sheikh Béthio Thioune, a leader of Senegal's most powerful Muslim Brotherhood, had gathered in front of the prison to demand his release. Thioune was arrested 6 months ago in connection with a murder case. 123 vehicles were damaged during Monday's violence.
The state will not give in. When you are not satisfied with the decision, there are channels of recourse. But when you attack someone, when you attack the interior minister, that means you're taking the law into your own hands, and that the state cannot allow.
The violence followed Thioune's transfer last week from a prison 70 kilometers away from the capital to the prison in central Dakar. The religious leader's attorneys say his transfer had not been done according to the rules.
Every act concerning Sheikh Thioune or anyone facing charges must be taken up by a judge in charge of the case. In this case, neither the investigating magistrate nor the president acknowledged this case, and they were not informed of it either. Therefore, the transfer was totally illegal.
Thioune, who supported former President Abdoulaye Wade in the last election, was arrested on April 23rd after the death of 2 of his disciples during a brawl at his house the previous evening. He was charged with complicity to murder along with several of his followers. 95% of Senegalese are Muslims who follow one of 4 Sufi brotherhoods.
The head of the International Criminal Court, Fatou Bensouda, has said that the Kenyan case involving the 2 presidential aspirants will continue regardless of who becomes president. The charges, which is on fomenting post-election violence in 2007, involves former Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta. And 3 people have been accused of plotting to kill President Boni Yai of Benin. We have details on these stories and others in this African News Roundup.
Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe and his arch-rival Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai on Monday called for peace as they opened talks on a draft charter of a new constitution. The 2 leaders held a working meeting bringing together delegates from various political parties. The draft charter will be debated at the 2-day conference before being put to a referendum. The new constitution will pave the way for elections in 2013. The head of the International Criminal Court in The Hague says that the Kenyan cases before the court will continue, even if one of the accused is elected president in next year's elections. Last April, the court decided to try 4 Kenyans on charges of fomenting deadly post-election violence in 2007. 2 of the 4, Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta and former Agriculture Minister William Ruto, plan to run in the presidential elections in March. In a case that has rocked Benin, the public prosecutor has charged 3 people with plotting to poison President Boni Yai. The 3 accused are close to the president. They include his doctor, his niece, and an ex-minister. The formal charges came after prosecutors announced the arrests on Monday.
The prosecution has requested that they be charged with associating with criminals and attempting to assassinate the president. It is up to the investigating magistrate to decide on the matter.
The alleged plot included plans to replace Yayi's anti-pain medicine with poison. Prosecutors say the president's niece and his doctor were promised 1 billion CFA francs to carry out the plot, with the ex-minister acting as an intermediary. The instigator of the plot was alleged to be Benin businessman Patrice Talon, a former ally of the president who has recently been at odds with him.
We'll go for another short break. We'll be back in a moment.
Grts introduces a brand new show, Buddies Night Out, a show for you and your friends to win fabulous prizes. But you win only if you answer questions we ask you correctly. To be part of the show, you should know the numbers by now. Type BUDDIES, Buddies, to your favorite network, AfriCell 2020-200, QCell 30-30-300, Chromium 60-60-600, and Gamcell or 999-0909. And we will call you back. Make sure you have 4 friends ready to participate. Talk to you soon.
Welcome back. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Aliou Jammeh, and the Chairman of the GFA Normalization Committee have told the country to dialogue with stakeholders on sustainable sports development. But as we hear in this report by Modu S. Jallo, the sports dialogue was dominated by issues revolving around Gambian football.
Shortly after extending the mandate of the GFA Normalization Committee for another 6 months by FIFA, the Minister of Youth and Sports and the Chairman of the Normalization Committee hit the road on a nationwide tour to dialogue with regional stakeholders in football on how to create a smooth transition to a newly executive body. Part of the ministry's tour was to engage the stakeholders to come up with sound ideas for sustainable sports development in the country. Lengthy meetings were held in all 5 regions, with the main talking points centered on the new GFA draft constitution, which is pending for adoption or rejection at a Congress whose date is expected to be announced by the Normalization Committee. In Janjambure, the Minister of Youth and Sports reminded the region sports officials of his ministry's desire to develop sports throughout the country by creating a level playing field for stakeholders. The country's sports, particularly football, he says is at standstill, hence the need to effect changes to put in place the right structures that will move sports forward to the desired level. The exact reason why the Normalization Committee was set up, according to the minister, is to regularize the country's ailing football.
And the constitution that we are also bringing to you is going to give equal representation of all the regions, all the 7 regions, 3 from each region, as mentioned by the chairman. Fair and equal. KMC, BCC, West Coast, North Bank, and all the way down to URR. Everybody will produce 3 delegates on your behalf to go at Congress to elect who you want to be elected as president of the federation. That's another point to note, because we are also saying Gambia Football Association will change into a federation, so that all of these regional associations will be affiliated to the federation.
The chairman of the Normalization Committee, Elaji Obi Konate, described the draft constitution as a perfect document tailored to suit everybody. He cited certain clauses in the draft constitution which he maintains will restructure how football used to be administered in the country, with prominence given to regional football.
We wasted 6 months of precious time talking about the constitution. This is because, we did not agree, we did not see light, we did not understand it. Because if we understood what is in this constitution, really, we would not have wasted precious time over it. That is why it's important that you see it as our own. It belongs to those who are in football. And it is those who are in football who are going to benefit.
Similar were their comments in Lower River Region and West Coast Region. The draft constitution, according to the head of the Normalization Committee, calls for the creation of regional football associations in each region, which will be affiliated to the supreme body called the Gambia Football Federation, and the extension of the GFA First Division League from 12 to 16 teams to accommodate teams from the regions. The veteran sports administrator warns that failure to adopt the draft constitution will further plunge the country's football into more problems. Having heard from the minister and the Normalization Committee, These were some of the comments from the stakeholders in the various regions.